Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I am finally feeling up to par, and I'm finally able to sit down and film my birth story and, you know, just everything about how my baby came unexpected, what birthing was like in Mexico, and a little bit of postpartum. I'm just gonna let it all out. So this video is going to be very long, very chatty, so, you know, get yourself a meal or a drink because I'm gonna spill the tea. So well, before we even get started, if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and leave me some comments down below. So the baby just went down for a nap, and yeah, as soon as we're gonna film the video, baby wakes up. So let me go get her and I'll be right back. So baby is nursing, and we're up, and this is just what mom life is. So anyways, I lose my train of thought, but yeah, so today's video we are going to be spilling the tea on my birth story, everything about what went down. So I'm just gonna get started. So on Sunday, I don't know the exact dates, but I know the day of, you know. So on a Sunday, Jonathan brought over a doula and I believe I was already 39 weeks and 1 day. So he brought over a doula, and at this point I am hoping and praying that I can have a natural birth. So Jonathan brings over a doula. I tell her I am 39 weeks and 1 day. And just a little backstory, the doctor was telling me that my pelvis hasn't opened and my baby hasn't descended, and that my stomach was still too high, that my belly hadn't dropped, etc, etc. So the doula came over and she was like, I'm gonna help the baby drop. She did like a few little massages on my stomach, nothing too invasive. My baby was already head down, so she did like a very light massage on my stomach. She rubbed my feet, and from there, what did we do? Oh, and then I got into the jacuzzi with rose petals and some cinnamon. And if I'm being honest, I really didn't feel anything. Hold on, John's texting me. I didn't really feel anything, but if you do some research, they will tell you about like certain pressure points. So I'm thinking where the doula was rubbing my feet, she was hitting pressure points. Why am I saying that? Okay, so after the doula came over, I got in the jacuzzi, we got dressed, and we went over to John's brother's house. We had lunch / dinner there. It was already kind of like late. We went over like in the evening. And I just remember that I felt sick. I felt like I needed to vomit. I had diarrhea for like the last 3 days. So I was just out of it. Everybody wanted to take a walk, and normally I would go on the walks with everybody, but that one day I said, you know what, I'm not. Like, my back was hurting. I just felt like really out of it. I just wanted to go home. I let John go on the walk for about like 30 minutes, and within those 30 minutes I felt like I wanted to vomit. I just felt horrible, so I texted him and said, let's go. Mind you, that day we set up the car seat. So that was Sunday. We came back home, everything was fine. I went to bed, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning I felt what I thought was contractions in my sleep, and so I felt that first one, and I didn't wake up. And then I felt that second contraction, and then I still kind of didn't wake up, but I was kind of more conscious of what was going on. And then that third contraction woke me up. I have so much going on. I'm losing my train of thought. John's texting me. I'm breastfeeding. So much going on. But anyways, I'm trying to center myself and not get as frustrated as I usually do. But anyways, like I'm trying to tell you, I got that third contraction and I woke up, and from there all hell broke loose. For some reason I said I'm going to track these contractions just in case they are Braxton Hicks or whatever. I'm going to track these contractions, whatever it may be, because I always know that I want to film for you guys and share my experiences with you. So I brought my phone out and I started tracking my contractions, and it was 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, like around 4:30, I said I'm gonna text my doctor, and I texted the doula as well, and I told them that I woke up to contractions. And so then it was 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5:36, and these contractions just didn't stop. And I'm just like Googling, you know, Braxton Hicks, because I just thought they were Braxton Hicks, you know. I saw that it could, like, you can get Braxton Hicks if you're dehydrated and this and that. So as I was getting my contractions, I just tried to stay moving. I got on my little yoga bar or whatever they're called, and I just was moving through each contraction, trying to breathe. And Jonathan was asleep. I went through these contractions by myself, so I started making extra noise to wake John up because I wasn't going to be the only one suffering. So John was up with me since 3 o'clock in the morning. And then at like 6:50, my doctor responded, and he was like, how long have your contractions been? How consistent have they been, etc. So I just sent him a picture of the contraction counter that I had, and he said, you know what, your contractions look consistent and the timing between them is looking pretty good, so I need to see you in my office. So within 15 minutes I was already at the doctor's office. But for this, in the house, I was already telling John, I need you to get the baby's bag, I need you to get my bag. Jonathan is looking at me saying, your stomach hasn't even dropped, these contractions aren't real, they're gonna send us home. So we had our little altercation here in this house before we left. Long story short, he came out with the baby's bag and left my bag here, my hospital bag. He just had the baby's hospital bag, which I was okay with because I was like, yeah, what if they do send us home? So I get to the doctor's office, and he checks me and he tells me, you're about like 4 to 5 centimeters dilated, but after your contraction your baby keeps going up, like she's not coming down. And so he's all like, I'm gonna check on the ultrasound, which is something that they do different here in Mexico. Like my doctor does the sonogram, he does everything. So he's all like, I'm going to check the baby, see if everything is okay with her, and then I'm going to have to take you in for an emergency C-section. And at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever the doctor says. I was going through so much pain. And if he's telling me that I'm gonna have a very painful birthing experience because my baby is so big, and he came to that conclusion after he did the sonogram. He measured the baby's head, and he's all like, your baby's measuring pretty big. She's measuring like 9 pounds. So I was like, okay, fine. He said emergency C-section. I'm just looking at John right now like, you see, I told you that I needed my bag. So, yeah, that was the attitude I had. That was in the mood I was in. And me and John are just like in shock because the doctor's like, that's it, I need you guys to go to the hospital right now. Your baby's coming like in the next 30 minutes. So we get in the car, and I'm just getting like all these emotions. If you see in my birthing video, that's when I have like the first clip, like the intro of the video. And I'm just like sharing with you guys. And then we get to the hospital. And mind you, I feel like this is really important. Because of my spinal fusion, I was just hoping and praying that I was going to be able to have like a regular C-section, like being awake with the baby. But later in the video, you're gonna see what happens. But anyways, I get to the hospital, and me and Jonathan were not expecting the baby to come as soon as we did. So they had none of my paperwork. And the thing about it is that the hospital was kind of unorganized. I went in, they took me into the emergency room. I was separated from my husband. I was in like an emergency room where it's just like a bunch of beds, and they just have like these curtains dividing everybody. So the lady just tells me like, get undressed, put this robe on, and lay down in the bed. And so that's what I did. There's like people coming in and out. There's no privacy at all. I'm naked, I'm going through contractions. I'm like, where's my husband? At this point, Spanish, I know Spanish. At this point, I'm thinking like, you know, I'm going through this is a foreign language. Like all of a sudden I'm not understanding anything. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm kind of getting in a bad mood because I'm like, where's my husband? Why is my husband not here? Where do these people have my husband? Like that's the type of mood that I was getting in. So finally my husband comes out, and the lady just like starts shaving my area there for the C-section. And mind you, this lady's like shaving me with no water, with like a cheap ass little razor, and she's hurting me at this point. And she's like also trying to do it fast, and I'm telling her, you're hurting me. So she stops or whatever, and they wheel me into the operating room. And again, I'm like, where's my husband? Because they keep just pulling my husband just every which way. I'm like, where's my husband? Where's my husband? Where's my husband? Luckily, the doula had already gotten there. And so I kind of felt like a little better, because I know if I had any questions or if I needed to say something, I could tell the doula and she would express my needs to the people. But I'm still like, where's my husband? Where's my husband? Where's my husband? And so I'm going in, they're trying to put the epidural in me, and I don't even know where my husband is at this point. I'm kind of like pissed off. And then the anesthesiologist pokes me 3 times, and he's not able to get the needle where it needs to be because of my spinal fusion and all the fibrosis that I have there. So mind you, at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever it has to be. He tells me I'm gonna have to go under. I'm not fighting with nobody. I'm having contractions. I'm like, where's my husband? I'm just pissed off at this point. I'm like, whatever you gotta do so that I'm safe and the baby is safe, just go ahead and do it. So they do it, and if you've seen my birth vlog, you'll see the operating room or whatever. And then I wake up, and I wake up to a screaming baby, but not like a cry like when the baby's born, like a cry that my baby is already frustrated. She's hungry, she's looking for her mother. Nobody's carrying my baby. Jonathan's not able to carry the baby. Again, I'm like, where's John? All of a sudden he comes into the room, and then I'm kind of like calm, but then it's like, why aren't they wheeling me into my room? I'm like just in the operating room laying there and hearing my baby scream. I can't hold my baby, and there's just a ton of people around me, and I just want to go to my room. So I start getting my attitude, and in Spanish I started saying, why are we not in our room yet? John's coming over here telling me that I need to bring it down a notch, and I'm like, no, I want to go to my room already. Listen to my baby, listen to how my baby's crying. So from what I remember, they take me up and we get into our room, and the only thing that I kept hearing was just everybody saying how big my baby was, how big my baby was. And another thing that pissed me off was that I had my baby's bag done. I had my baby with newborn clothes. I had my baby with 0 to 3, because you just never know how big your baby's gonna be. And I had my baby's clothes, I had bottles, I had pacifiers, I had blankets, because in Mexico they do not provide you with anything. At least the hospital that I was in, they don't provide you with anything. So you literally need to take the socks, the hat, the clothes that they're going to be in, the blankets that the babies are going to use, diapers, wipes, everything that has to do with the baby you need to take. So I had made this baby's bag 2 weeks before, maybe like a month prior. So I know that I had everything that I needed for this baby, and I know that the sizes that I chose would fit this baby. So when I woke up, I'm just like hearing everybody just like saying like how big the baby is, how big the baby is, and like that's all I'm hearing, right? I get to my room, and again, that's all I'm hearing. And then all of a sudden it's like, where's my husband? Where's my husband? Like I'm already in my room, and it's like, where's my husband? Again, the girls that were there, like helping the nurses, etc., are like telling my husband that the clothes that I packed didn't fit the baby. And I'm still kind of like out of it. I can't even get out of my bed. Everybody's doing everything for me. People are opinionating and telling my husband that none of the stuff that I brought the baby fits her. Which, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of like pissed off my whole experience at the hospital. I'm not gonna lie. So long story short, I'm like, where's my husband? They're telling me he went home to go get the baby some clothes, that nothing fits the baby. And I'm like, are you serious? But like, I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. Jonathan goes, he's bringing bags of clothes from the baby from like 6 to 9 months, you know, 6 to, you know, just exaggerated clothing sizes. But he brought like this whole big black bag that I had, because I just threw the baby's clothes in there because I knew I wasn't going to use it. So they put my baby in that or whatever, and then it's time to breastfeed. And I'm trying to breastfeed my baby, and you know, I miss the golden hour, so the baby isn't latching and we're having a hard time. I'm getting frustrated, she's getting frustrated, the nurse is telling me that I need to feed the baby. So I just pumped. I'm so glad that I brought my little manual breast pump. I was able to pump out 6 milliliters and the baby was able to eat. And then, you know, everybody was coming and visiting the baby. Like, it was just like something that me and John didn't talk about. I wanted it to be like just me and my husband that first 24 hours, and I didn't want people visiting us. People were coming and visiting us. I had like a whole show in my room, people coming in and out. I was out of it. I'm just like not in the mood. Like I said, I was pretty bitchy that whole day because everything just was like not flowing. The room was hot. I'm trying to tell John, turn the AC on. I got like these 3 nurses in there telling me that I can't turn the air on, that it's bad for the baby. Like, bro, what? No. So I'm just like pissed off. It took John for him to start like sweating bullets, for him to like understand like, yeah, we need to turn the AC on. Like, I'm sweating, the baby's sweating, John's sweating. The room is just like extremely hot. Nobody's letting me turn on the AC. You can just imagine, like, I'm not even trying to complain. Like, I'm literally just telling you my experience at the hospital. So that happens, and then the next day I wake up, I'm feeling a little better. And here in Mexico, they have it like accustomed to pierce the baby's ears when they're just born. So day 2 of their lives, I had the baby's earrings in her little diaper bag, and I'm telling them, pierce the baby's ears. They're like, we can't pierce your baby's ears because she doesn't have her shots yet, and she doesn't have this, and she doesn't have that. Long story short, the nurse that was holding those earrings, I never saw them again. I never saw those earrings again. Those earrings never came home. So the hospital ended up staying with my baby's earrings. I never saw them again. The hospital stayed with the dress that I showed up in when I was having contractions. They stayed with my underwears. It was just, do not recommend. I do not recommend. Tomato, you know what I mean. No, I'm not too happy with that. And then when we came home and I looked at the baby's diaper bag and the clothes that I brought the baby in, I put those clothes on her the next day and everything fit. So I'm just like thinking, like, these people just, I guess they have never seen a 9-pound baby, and all they were doing, like, in all the footage that I have, is just saying how big my baby was and this and that and a third, and kind of like pissing me off. Like, no, I'm just like not so happy with like the experience that I got. I wish that I would have been in the States. The treatment there is totally different. I'm just so happy that I had a doctor who really cared about me and the baby, and he worked, as you can see in my birthing video. I mean, he looked like he was worried about me and the baby's well-being. So I'm glad that I had like a good operating team. Unfortunately, the hospital that we were at just was not up to par for my likings. Just the whole thing of going around and opinionating, having nurses opinionating way more than what they need to, you know, having my husband going left and right, telling people, you know, the baby's clothes doesn't fit, having my baby naked the whole time. If her clothes don't fit, wrap her up in a blanket then. Just too much. But yeah, that's my birth story. Because of my spinal fusion, I had to go under. If I didn't have my spinal fusion, I probably would have been able to go natural. And if not, if I was without a spinal fusion and everything was okay and my pelvis didn't open, I probably would have been able to have a regular C-section. But because of my spinal fusion and all that, all those complications, I had to go under. And that's going to be the birthing experience for me for here on out. I'm thinking of still having another baby just so that Romina has like a little brother or sister, and then I'm still debating on maybe having one more, but that's just all in the future. So yeah, now I'm almost 1 month postpartum, and me and my baby are doing fine. I try not to listen too much to what people here have to say, because in Mexico everybody's like opinionated. They're telling me that I need to wear socks or my milk is gonna dry up, and just like a whole bunch of little myths that they still believe in over here. But yeah, that is my birth story. I hope that I didn't like ramble too much. I hope that you guys understood what I went through. and which is why I don't have like too much footage in the hospital. I think I only have like a few little footages of me and the baby like cuddling in the hospital, because if I'm being honest with you, I was just pissed off the whole time at the hospital. And what I learned from this experience is the next baby that I have, I will be having it here in Mexico. I'll be letting my mom know. It's gonna be a scheduled C-section, so I'll be letting my mom know, I'll let my sisters know, and I'll have somebody from my family here to support me, because it ain't gonna happen again. I'll tell you that. It's not gonna happen again. What we went through is not gonna happen again. So yeah, that is my birthing story. If you guys have any questions about the spinal fusion, about, you know, recovery, breastfeeding, anything of that sort, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.